There's a moment in everyone's life when the noise becomes unbearable. The world spins faster than your thoughts can keep up with. Deadlines, expectations, the pressure to perform, to stay calm, to hold it together when everything inside you feels like it's splintering apart. It happens in quiet rooms and crowded arenas alike. That invisible fracture between what the world sees and what you're really feeling. Imagine this. You're sitting in a room filled with people. Everyone looks composed. Everyone seems fine. But inside, your heart is pounding like a war drum. Your chest tightens. Your hands tremble slightly, and your thoughts start racing, colliding into one another until all you hear is static. You tell yourself to relax, to breathe, to stay focused, but it's as if your mind has declared mutiny against you. That's pressure. The invisible weight that turns seconds into eternity. It shows up before the big meeting, before the exam, before the performance, or sometimes before you have to face someone you love and tell them something you don't want to say. Pressure doesn't discriminate. It lives in boardrooms and hospital rooms, in the silence before an athlete's free throw, in the heartbeat before a soldier's decision. It's the moment when the body obeys, but the mind begins to unravel. And if you've ever been there, that edge between control and chaos, then you know how fragile sanity can feel, how quickly calm can dissolve into panic, how one thought, one mistake, one breath can make you feel like you're losing your grip. But here's the truth. You're not weak because you feel pressure. You're human, and pressure is the world's most honest mirror. It doesn't show you who you pretend to be, but who you are when everything else is stripped away. The question isn't how to escape pressure. It's how to stand inside it, unmoved, unbroken, unshaken, and still see clearly, because that, right there, is mastery. Most people crumble under pressure, not because they're incapable, but because they've been trained to fear it. We're raised in a culture that worships calm but punishes cracks. Don't lose control. Don't show weakness. Stay strong. So we push everything down. The fear, the anxiety, the trembling, uncertainty, until one day it all leaks out in anger or tears or silence. We think staying calm means feeling nothing, but that's not calm. That's suppression, and suppression is a slow kind of self-destruction. You've probably lived it. That interview where your mouth went dry and your voice betrayed you. That confrontation where your heart raced and your mind went blank. That night you lay awake, replaying every word you said, every gesture, every mistake, as if punishing yourself could undo them. We all do this. We rehearse the past, we dread the future, and in doing so, we lose the only thing that ever mattered, the present. The human loop goes like this. Pressure rises, the body reacts, the mind panics about the reaction, the panic amplifies the pressure, and the cycle continues until we confuse sensation with threat. Your palms sweat, and you think you're failing. Your heart pounds, and you think something's wrong. But the truth is, your body isn't betraying you. It's preparing you. Pressure activates the same systems that helped our ancestors survive. The surge of adrenaline, the quickened breath, they're not signs of weakness. They're your body sharpening its focus, gathering its strength. Yet, because no one ever taught us that, we fight it. We interpret nature's preparation as danger, and every time we do, we lose a little more control over our own mind. The irony is painful. The harder you try to stay calm, the more you remind yourself that you're not. The more you try to control pressure, the more it controls you. We live in an era of anxiety masked as productivity, where everyone pretends composure while quietly drowning inside. We scroll through perfection, comparing our chaos to curated serenity, and we start to believe that peace is the absence of storms, not the ability to stand in one. But that's the lie that keeps us running, endlessly, breathlessly, never enough. But what if the goal isn't to avoid pressure? What if the goal is to build the kind of mind that doesn't break under it? What if composure isn't something you're born with, but something you train for, like a muscle, like endurance, like faith? The truth is, pressure doesn't create weakness. It reveals the parts of you that were never trained to stay still in chaos. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your level of training. That's why the world's calmest people aren't those who face less. They're those who've practiced holding still when everything screams at them to move. Think about it. A firefighter doesn't stay calm because there's no fire. A surgeon doesn't steady their hands because there's no risk. A Navy SEAL doesn't breathe slowly because there's no fear. They breathe slowly because there is. Pressure isn't the enemy. It's the teacher. It's the forge that turns panic into precision, fear into focus, tension into clarity. But only if you learn to stay, to stop running from the feeling, and instead breathe into it. So the shift begins here. Stop trying to escape pressure. Start learning from it, because the moment you stop running, it loses its power. Lesson 1. Breathe before you break. In every moment of overwhelm, your breath is your anchor. When you lose control of your breathing, you lose control of your mind. When you reclaim your breath, you reclaim your power. Think of Serena Williams. Every serve, every rally, every roar of the crowd, she breathes through it. Her ritual isn't superstition. It's mastery, a long exhale, a grounding gaze, because she knows that stillness isn't found. It's built. When the world demands reaction, your breath gives you response. And in that small gap between reaction and response lives your freedom. So the next time you feel your chest tighten and your mind spiral, don't fight it. Breathe. Deeper, slower, lower. You'll notice your thoughts begin to soften. Your heart rate steadies, and what felt like chaos becomes space. Lesson 2. Detach from the outcome. Pressure is born from expectation. We fear losing, failing, falling short. But the irony is, the more we grip the outcome, the less control we actually have. Michael Jordan once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times. I've been trusted to take the game, winning shot and missed." That's pressure, not the moment of the shot, but the acceptance of what might happen after. He didn't master pressure by guaranteeing success. He mastered it by detaching from fear, by understanding that the shot doesn't define him. His preparation does. When you detach from results, you free yourself to perform. When you focus on the process, you stop fearing the consequence. So ask yourself, what are you really afraid of? The moment or the meaning you've given it? Because when you stop worshipping outcomes, pressure loses its altar. Lesson 3. Train the mind like a muscle. Mental calm isn't gifted. It's trained daily, deliberately. Elite performers don't stay composed because they're special. They stay composed because they've conditioned their nervous system to stay present. Meditation, visualization, journaling, breath work. They aren't trends, they're reps. Every rep is a reminder that calm can be practiced. Elon Musk once said, "I think it's possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary." And that's what mental training is. Choosing your response before the world forces one on you. Start small. Each morning, take 2 minutes in silence before you check your phone. Each night, review your day, not to judge, but to observe. Notice when you felt pressure. Notice how you reacted, and then ask, what could I do differently next time? That's how composure is built. One observation at a time. Lesson 4. Make pressure your companion. Pressure isn't going away. It will follow you to every stage, every opportunity, every moment that matters. But instead of fearing it, make it familiar. Athletes simulate it. Pilots train for it. Leaders breathe with it. If you avoid discomfort, you stay fragile. If you embrace it, you become anti-fragile, stronger with every test. So when pressure rises, whisper to yourself, "This is my moment of growth," and suddenly it transforms. Not an enemy, a companion, a reminder that you are stepping into something that matters. Every time you walk through pressure and stay calm, you carve a new groove in your mind, one that says, "I can handle this." And over time, that groove becomes your nature, not arrogance, not indifference, just quiet confidence, the kind that no storm can shake. But even the strongest minds tremble, even the most composed hearts break. There will come a day, maybe soon, when all your training feels useless, when the pressure hits from every direction at once, when you breathe, but it doesn't calm you, when you tell yourself to stay strong, but your voice quivers anyway. Maybe it's a loss, maybe it's a betrayal, maybe it's the sudden weight of too much, and you can't pretend anymore. You'll feel it, that silent scream inside your chest, that voice whispering, "I can't do this anymore." That's the storm, and storms are not tests of your strength. They're reminders of your humanity. You don't conquer storms by standing tall. You conquer them by bending, by letting the wind move through you without breaking you when everything feels like it's slipping. Remember, you've survived every collapse before. Every breakdown led you here, and if you're breathing, you're already rebuilding. The pressure doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're alive in the arena. It means you care enough to feel. Let yourself shake. Let yourself cry. Then breathe again. One slow inhale. One honest exhale. That's where the mind resets. That's where clarity returns. And when it does, you'll realize the calm you were chasing was never about silence. It was about trust. Trusting yourself enough to know that no matter what happens, you won't lose your center. Peace doesn't come when life gets easier. Peace comes when you get stronger. You learn to move slower, to listen before reacting, to breathe before deciding, and little by little, you stop fearing pressure because you've learned it's not there to crush you, it's there to carve you. Pressure shapes character, the way heat shapes steel, not gently, but precisely, and the fire that once terrified you becomes the same fire that refines you. You start seeing things differently. You no longer pray for lighter burdens. You build stronger shoulders. You no longer hope for calm waters. You master how to sail through storms. You no longer wish for peace to come from the outside. You build it within. The world won't slow down for you, but your mind can. And in that stillness, you'll notice something miraculous. Pressure doesn't disappear, but it begins to work for you. It sharpens your focus. It wakes your instincts. It humbles your ego. It prepares you for the moments that matter most. That's how leaders are born. That's how athletes transcend talent. That's how ordinary people become unbreakable. The difference isn't that they feel less. It's that they've made peace with feeling. So the next time life tightens around you, remember, you're not supposed to be fearless. You're supposed to be steady. Steady doesn't mean emotionless. It means anchored, rooted, grounded in who you are, not what's happening around you. And when the storm rises again, as it always will, you'll close your eyes, take a breath, and whisper to yourself, "I've been here before. I know this feeling, and I know I'll make it through." Because calm isn't something you find. It's something you return to, again and again, until it becomes home. Under pressure, don't strive to be perfect. Strive to be present. The mind you train in silence is the mind that saves you in chaos. So breathe, Stand tall, and remember, the goal isn't to escape the fire, it's to learn how to keep your flame steady within it. You were never meant to avoid pressure, you were meant to master it.